Okay, so step 2 is we're gonna take our two, I wanna call these right, two face pieces, and we're gonna sew along this curve. And we are back to a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm lucky because that is right at the edge of my presser foot when my needle is positioned in the middle here. I'm trying to think of how to best tell you tips for sewing curves. Try to make it smooth. Like a lot of times, like people try to jerk around. It's kind of like steering a little bit, like steer ahead, be looking ahead as you sew your curve, and that should make a nice fluid curve.
So you're almost like constantly moving it a little bit,
yeah, you're
rather
kind of
than
like
moving it a chunk at a time.
Yes, correct. You kind of want to like I think of the motion as almost, I put my fingers up here and it's almost like a twist, kind of. But once again, you want to back stitch at the beginning and end.
We'll watch how you do it.
So you are at a 1/4 inch right where it's sewing. So honestly, mine is the edge here is a little tucked in from a 1/4 inch, but that's how you kind of steer that. Okay, so you have seam right through the curve and trim your thread, and then you're gonna set this aside.
Do they want to take a picture of that or not yet?
Not yet, after the next step. That is a good question.
And if they want to practice this, could they just take some scrap fabric and practice before they practice on their pieces?
Absolutely. The other thing that I don't know if a lot of people know, but you can take paper. So you could either trace this curve on pieces of paper, and you could take paper. It's easier to sew on paper without threading your machine, but you could like go along and see if the puncture holes, which is also a trick if you ever want to create something with perforation, you just use a sewing machine with no thread.
Okay.